Now, IGAD, then intergovernmental organization, has come out with a very shocking statement. They have warned an unnamed foreign power from interfering with the Kenyan elections. What? Now, regular listeners of this channel will remember that I have been talking about this thing of foreign interference in our electoral process for some time now. And most of you will remember what I have said, which I'm not going to repeat again and bore you. But for the sake of those who didn't catch the earlier reports, I'm going to quickly summarize the important points here. I'm going to add some other new points, very clearly, very briefly, and then I'll leave you to think about it. Number one, we're a third am I getting too emotional? We're a third world African country. Third world African. Every single election we have had since independence has had some form of foreign interference. That's number one. Why? Because these big boys, these big powerful countries need to look after their interests. Now, normally this interference is not through diplomatic channels. Normally it's through what we call covert operations. Organizations like the CIA, spooks generally. They do this, do that, etc., etc. I can give you very many stories of how we've had foreign interference. But let me just give you one example. In 1997, during Moi's last term as president, some analysts of a foreign power, which I shall not name, believed that Kenya was the same as Philippines. In Philippines, there's a lady who came into power called Imelda Marcos. Her husband had been killed tragically, actually assassinated by a very evil regime, and she organized a people's coup. She went into an election, won. They refused to hand over power. The people insisted, and she won. She came into power. So an analyst, that's why I tell you guys, textbook does not always work. You really need to understand what's happening on the ground. So an analyst of a very major foreign power believed that the same would happen. So what they did, they threw a lot of financing in the direction of a candidate called Charity Ngilu. Her posters were everywhere. Her campaign team were just crazy, They were all over the place, She did not have a very major impact on that election, although you have to grant her she was the first woman in the history of Kenya ever to stand for the presidency, and she gave a good account of herself, that's all. But Philippines in Kenya, it didn't happen, So let's not be naive about these issues. The other thing I want to say is that every single country in the world, every single country without fail, have what they call an intelligence service who look after the interests of that country. Now, looking after the interests of that country also involves foreign powers they deal with, foreign countries they operate with, and they organize sometimes and fix problems. If there's a problem with a certain country, they'll fix it in quotes. This could involve all kinds of things, maybe a military operation, murder, mostly illegal things. That's why it's called covert, because it will not be covert if the things they do are legal, mainly legal things. But every country has them, and these things are legalized by something called an executive order. The president of any country has got the legal right. The excuse normally used is security of the state, the safety of the citizens. They can do things which are a bit overboard, to protect the citizens of their country. Let me give you a simple example. When an American president signs an executive order for a drone to go into Somalia and kill an Al-Shabaab person, legally, they've killed the nation of another country, blah, 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 without due process, blah, 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 but it happens, That is an executive order. That's what happens. So, most of you will not like to hear this. If a foreign power feels that a certain government in a certain third world African country is not in the best interest of its citizens, they're going to do something about it. That happens. It's the world. Neither you or me can change it. Ni ile tumepata na ni ile tutawacha. That's how the world runs. So wake up, guys. Let's get realistic about this. Now, in conclusion, I concur with the government that there's a foreign power. I think you've listened to my earlier recordings. If you have not, catch up with them. If you can't see them, become a member of Club 1999 and it will be revealed to you. I concur with the government that there's a foreign power that is very heavily involved with these elections, that is very heavily involved with one of the sides winning the election. Okay? Now my view of this, my personal view, is that it is wrong. Kenyans should be left. Tuko na shida zetu, we sort it out ourselves. We can never expect somebody to come from outside. I hope I don't sound like Moi, but it's a fact. We can never look up to somebody from outside to come into Kenya to solve our problems for us, or to assist us to solve our problems. Just in the same way, if you have a problem in your house with your wife, you'll not expect your neighbor to come in and sort out that problem. Even if you're fighting, you'll need to sit down with your wife and sort it out. That is my view on this matter. This is Chris Kumekucha. Until next time.